I want to talk about regression of skills in neurodivergent people, specifically language regression, since I'm a speech language pathologist. I don't want to make light of this topic because obviously people are really suffering with regression of skills, and a lot of caregivers that I work with are really concerned about a change in language skills. A lot of those conversations for me are detailing acceptance and detailing how we're going to approach this change and reassuring people that it's not the end for their loved one, you know? All of these things are hard to do. I can't imagine how hard it is on the caregiver. I can only empathize with them on the piece of the journey that I've been witness to. I have to remind them the science behind specifically how busy the neurodivergent brain is. The neurodivergent brain, as it is exposed to more and more experience and more language, it can get harder and harder to process things. You may notice that your loved one or client is requiring more processing time than they used to, or they're saying new things than they used to, or they're not saying as much as they used to. One of the most important things to remember and to reframe your mind about is how much more they've been exposed to as a result of you educating them and exposing them to the world, and how much more busy it has become in their brain. And it does cause changes. I really hesitate to even call it regression because we need to accept that that's where that person is now, and we need to reframe how we're going to support them rather than focus on the skills that appear different. For example, let's say you have a Gestalt language processor who was speaking in full sentences conversationally because they were really forced to, in a way, and learned how to go against their brain's natural language acquisition. And now they've started to speak in a lot more gestalts. Maybe they have more sensory needs. Yes, for someone who has seen their entire life, you will say they've regressed in these skills. I will encourage you to say things are different now, and we need to affirm and validate and pick up from this point. This is so much easier said than done. I don't want to sound like I'm not sensitive to that because I've been in so many meetings and phone calls and real life experiences where I'm holding the hand of caregivers deeply upset, and all I can do is be a support on how we're going to move forward. But anyways, yes, this was just a very short way to approach this subject. We're going to talk about it more on my YouTube channel in the form of longer videos. And if you ever have any specific questions that you would like to submit for me to talk about, please go to my website, www.support-the-spectrum.com, where you can contact me and leave those questions. And if you're interested in learning more about neurodiversity affirming practices and the science behind them, you can follow me at Support the Spectrum on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Lemonade.